Hey everybody, so my name's Jose. Today I'll be talking to you guys about what networking is and how it's also important for you guys. So what is networking? So it's actually the process of marketing or promoting yourself to other people. It helps you meet people and also develop professional relationships that can help you with advice, ask for help, and a possible job in the future. And it also helps you get to know people who work in a field that you're probably interested in or that you might be interested in the future. How's it important? So networking is actually very important for a lot of very different reasons. It helps you access to opportunities. It helps you expand your circle. It makes you more noticeable. It also helps you by sharing ideas with those around you. It helps you ask for advice, like help on your cover letter, resume, interview tips, and also your self-confidence starts to grow too.
Networking is a vital tool of your high school career. Depending on your grade in high school, you either take different steps than others in their high school career. Freshmen, learn how to make a resume and what makes your resume stand out. See what jobs to look for and how to be presentable for the job you want. Sophomores, look for a job in your area using the skills you learned to make a resume and a professional dress for the job you're applying for. Find someone who you trust and you can go for help, and also see if they can help you with your network and also help you prepare for school and outside of school. For the job you're applying for, also learn how to make sure you don't work too many hours so you can keep up with schoolwork and you don't fail any of your classes. Juniors, start researching on your career and what you want to partake in after high school. Look into the salary, education, and requirements for the job you want and work on what your next steps are and what grades you need to achieve the diploma you want. Seniors, start your network on what career you want after you graduate. Start applying to colleges and trade schools if you need to go to your career. Talk to your teachers and parents to speak on what's best for you. Even go for apprenticeships or half-day work weeks. Just take the time to figure out what's best for you and what you need to be successful in life.
My advice for anyone who is beginning to network would be to always put your best foot forward and always present your best self. And you want to make sure people know that you're professional and dependable and kind, and so that if maybe someone that you meet and connect with maybe can't personally use your set of skills for, say, a job or an award or a project or a scholarship, they feel confident in referring you to someone who might be able to use your skills.
So now let's talk about rejection. Nobody enjoys getting rejected, especially when what you're getting rejected from is an incredible opportunity for learning, growth, or to make connections with important people. Regardless, it's important to still use rejection as a learning experience. Even if the person you're asking isn't interested in what you offered, they might still be willing to give you advice or feedback that can be valuable. They might still be able to put you in contact with other people in their field that might have more interest or whose situations might be more suitable. Replying with a follow-up email can be important for these reasons, along with keeping in touch and keeping track of what their company or that person might be up to, because there's always going to be other opportunities along the road. Another important thing to keep in mind is that even if the exchange ends in rejection, it is still, in a way, networking. Leaving a good impression will make future exchanges more likely to end in your favor, which connects to the previous point we made. One way to do this is to send them a thank you note. This lets them know that you are grateful for their time and advice and is a mature goodbye for both sides. They'll also be more likely to introduce you to other places and people if you leave a polite impression. After leaving a good impression and accepting the rejection, it's important to look for other opportunities. Giving up after one rejection would be giving up a possibly great chance at a job shadow, internship, or any other networking opportunity. One person's reason for rejection may sway completely for how another person feels, so you shouldn't give up after the first or even first few attempts.
Hey, so I found one of the best ways to network is just through Instagram. So, for example, I would hashtag Columbus, Indiana, and then go to the ask questions, ask if they're, where they got their shirt, or where the location is of the photo shoot, or whatever it is. Have them engage with you, and in turn, that's going to bring them to your page. And without you asking them to come to your page, they'll do that because they'll be curious of who you are. And with that, then if you have a shop or a business or a website, then they're going to
know what networking is, why it's important, and when to start. We will talk about how to network. I will be giving you some basic tips today. The first tip that I have for you is to meet people through other people. You can use conversations with groups of people as an opportunity to get to talk to other people you may not know otherwise. The more people you know, the more connections you can develop, which means you can get more opportunities from these people in the future, and also more opportunity to help them. The second tip that I have for you today is to utilize social media. When you're communicating through social media, such as Facebook or Instagram, you don't have to worry about the pressure of a face-to-face conversation with the first interaction. You get to know the person a little bit, at least, through non-face-to-face interaction, which is way less pressure. You can also leave comments on their posts or their thoughts in order to start conversation, and then it also provides you with topics to reference in the future. So, for instance, if someone posts a picture of them attending a conference, then you can comment on that picture, and then later in conversation face-to-face, you can reference that conference and be like, hey, how did that conference go? Social media is a great tool if we use it appropriately. Tip number 3 is to never ask for a job. Your main goal with networking is not to use them for a job, it's to make connections and build relationships. You would use networking to have them write you a good letter of recommendation or give you a good referral, or even look over your resume and provide constructive feedback, not ask for a job. Tip number 4 is to never hog airtime. You don't want to be needy or time demanding. Have a plan going into conversations or interactions, and don't be the only one doing all of the work in the relationship or doing all of the talking. You don't want them to feel undervalued or that they're uninteresting. Try asking them questions such as, how long have you been in this field? What are the pros and cons of your job? What training did you need? And what is the company culture like? Tip number 5 is to find a reason to follow up. Even if you're just sending them an article that you found interesting, or if you think of something that may help a situation they're in, this is useful, you should tell them. Another way is to send a thank you note. Always say thank you. Thanking your connections is very important. You want them to feel appreciated. And then another guideline to follow is to try to get in touch at least 2 or 3 times a year. This is useful in letting them know that you did not forget about them and that you are there for them if they need you. The 6th and final tip that I have for you today is to maintain an online presence. This kind of ties in with utilizing social media, but it's a little bit different. You want to make sure that you keep your profiles up to date and professional. Future employers or potential business partners that you may work with may use these to check your skills and experience. You want to make sure that you put forward your best self on any platform you use. Those were 6 useful tips on how to network and how to maintain those networking relationships.
Hey, this is Jace at Death Proof CrossFit. When you start networking, you need to remember the purpose of a network. A network exists as a synergy. The whole is greater than the sum of the parts, which means that when you join the network, you should be aiming to improve it. That's quite a debt of performance. You are increasing your level of personal responsibility, and this is a good thing. This is how you develop conscientiousness. So always remember, the first thing is improve the network. Don't ask what the network can do for you. Ask what you can do for the network. I seem to remember a guy in a high position stating something similar one time. Join associations, clubs, charities, and then try to improve that situation. Then you'll reap the benefits of that network. Remember, none of us is as effective as all of us.